Hey, I'm Brian Van, SportbikeTrackYou.com. Today we're going to talk about the all-new algorithm update for the Alpinestars Tech Air 5 airbag system that allows for it to be used on the racetrack. Okay, in this video, we're going to compare the Tech Air Race to the Tech Air 5 head-to-head and clearly outline the differences between these two units to help you choose the one that is going to be best suited for your expectations and your riding style. We want to make sure we give you all the information necessary to do what's right for yourself. Let's start off with the obvious stuff. $11.50 is the retail on the Tech Air Race. $6.99 is the retail on the Tech Air 5. There is a pretty big spread there. This is meant to be used with any Tech Air Race compatible garment. It zips into the race suit. It'll then integrate with the little LED lights that are over on the sleeve. This is meant to be worn as a standalone unit. This could be used with any race suit that has the stretch panels necessary to allow for an airbag deployment. Basically, regardless of brand, as long as those stretch panels are there and it's an airbag compatible race suit, you're going to be good to go with this. The LED status lights on this are located right here around the waist of the vest. This is meant to be worn all by itself. It doesn't have to zip into anything. A couple of ways to make sure this is activated. When you first put it on, you obviously look down, check your status lights as you're getting your race suit on before you zip up your race suit. Make sure that you're active and you're good to go. I believe you're also able to access that through the Alpinestars Tech Air app that is compatible only with this and not with this to see the status of your airbag. So you can have this sitting on a table or a toolbox before you go out on track and make sure it is active at that point. Having the status lights on the sleeve, this is my vest. I've ridden with it many times. I got to be honest with you, on the racetrack, I've never one single time looked over at the lights to make sure that they're active. You know, you got enough stuff going on when you're out there. Never really looked at that. So I use the status lights when I'm gearing up before I get on the bike to make sure that we're good to go. So I think we're kind of at a push right there. Let's talk deployments. This is pretty important. In every size except for 2XL, the Tech Air Race offers two individual deployments. There are two canisters in here which deploy the airbag, right? They go off one canister at a time, thus the two deployments. The Tech Air 5 has the same two canisters, but they both go off at the same time. So it will need to be serviced after every deployment. This needs to be serviced after every two deployments. The difference there is going to be this unit, when you send it out for the first three deployments, all that needs to be replaced are the canisters. The cost, as I've been told, for that is $179. Every time you send this one out, and I know this because I've done it multiple times now. My little buddy Max Van, I think he's got 5 or 6 deployments. Send those out. Sent mine out one time. It's in that $300 price point. This one, after 3 initial deployments, you'll then have to, I believe they replace the airbag, and the price creeps up more to that $300 point. That is the difference between that. There is an advantage with both canisters popping off, and that is inflation time. This one fully inflates in 25 milliseconds. Think about how fast that is. This one fully inflates in 45 milliseconds. What I can tell you from personal experience is that is more than enough time to have the bag deployed before your body bounces off the ground. It's been very effective. This thing's worked great for me the one time I needed it, and it's worked fantastic for Max every time that he's needed it. Faster is never a bad thing. Okay, the 2 deployments is nice. The 1 deployment with a little less repair cost, also not a bad thing. Integrated back protection. I would say looking at this, it's kind of it's a push, right? Each of them have an integrated back protector that would be CE certified in its own right, okay? This one does have maybe just a little bit longer coverage. You know, it's not a tremendous amount. This one is also thicker. You can clearly see that, especially right down here towards the bottom. So this is going to create perhaps a little more room in the race suit. This one's also perforated. It's a honeycomb style protector. It's going to encourage the flow of air a little more freely. Overall, this vest is designed to allow the exchange of air more freely than the race model. That in itself is also going to be, I would say, a benefit when comparing the two head to head. Sensors that are used for data collection when the internal control module then makes the decision to deploy. This one has 6 total sensors. This one uses 12 total sensors. As I've been explained from Alpinestars, being this is the newer of the 2 units, at the end of the day, that's also going to be just a push. This system required more data collection to make its decisions. They made some enhancements over here. Less data collection was necessary before the control unit was able to make a determination on whether to go off or not. So that is a dead even push. Okay, in a second here, we're going to have some footage. We're going to show you what this looks like under the suit for the same rider. I've got my Racing Absolute suit that I use this vest in, right? So we'll reinstall this in that suit. I'll put it on, and then we'll go ahead and remove it again, and we'll do it with this one. Okay, so you can see the difference. Let's talk about weight. The Tech Air Race model weighed 4.8 pounds in the size that I wear. The Tech Air 5 weighs 4.6, so almost a push again, in the size that I would also wear. This is a great way, too, to kind of, let's just look at how much volume this is going to take up. And this kind of, probably attributes to comfort. Let's look at these two on the table and notice with that hard plate back protector how this thing's really lifted off the table here. And with the change in back protector they've used, and remember, the protection is essentially going to be a push, right? You can see how this all lays down nicely. It's much thinner. So my expectations are this is going to fit in the race suit, maybe even a little bit easier than this one does. Okay, here's the fit with the Tech Air Race installed in my Racing Absolute. For reference, this is a size 54 Euro Racing Absolute, 5 feet 11 inches tall, 205 pounds, 34-inch waist. This suit for me is all broken in. Next up, we'll try the Tech Air 5. Okay, now here we are with the Tech Air 5. Under the same suit, same dude. Immediately when I put this on, right, got it zipped up, we're going to talk about that. Caleb right away was like, dude, you can see the suit looks looser. And I got to tell you, it definitely is a little bit looser. I notice it right away. So I would say less volume. Now let's talk about putting on the race suit with the Tech Air 5. I tried to wear the vest and pull the suit up. It's 100% for me a no-go the way this suit fits. Every single time. I couldn't get the sleeves down in the sleeve. It's pulling the electronics unit out the back. No bueno. Not going to happen. So then I'm like, hey, let's be a little creative. Let's put the vest on and then put over the top of the vest my undersuit. See if that works. I tried that. 100% also shitty idea. It was a no-go. So then I took the suit off. Caleb's laughing at me. He's like, you got to take the suit back off. Took it off, laid it on the table, and I laid the vest in there, right? And it does kind of tuck up in there a lot like the Tech Air Race. And I tucked the sleeves down the arms, right? And then I kind of grabbed it, holding it by the waist. So I'm kind of holding the airbag a little bit too, and it stayed right in there. The shoulders just held it right in place. Put my legs in the suit, zipped up the legs, right? And then just went to put the suit on as normal, and it went on relatively easy. Before I zipped up the suit, what I did is I kind of got in there and tugged around a little bit, right? Just make sure, getting it all down in position. One comment I would make, this right now is an extra large vest. We didn't have the large in stock. There's more on the way right now in stock here, okay? I would go, for me, the large makes more sense. And when we did the video on the Tech Air 5, I think we talked about that too. I can wear either size. The large is going to fit a little snugger around the waist, and I think with a race suit, that would really that would be a positive more so than a negative. So if you're going to use this under your race suit, I would say let's look for a fit with the Tech Air 5 that's going to get you, right, that, a little snugger around the waist. So overall experience, putting it on was different, but in the end, really no more difficult, and it definitely takes up less volume under the suit. So in conclusion, looking at these two models, right, and looking at the way that, for myself, the way that I ride. I don't go out and throw a lot of bikes on the ground anymore. So for me, the one deployment, really not a huge deal. If you look at a lot of the competitors' products, as far as I know, we don't sell it any longer, but the Dainese stuff, those were one, and then you had no airbag. Okay, so the one deployment with many of the other vests that are out there, that is just a push, right? It's going to be even Steven. Given the price difference between this and the race, you could kind of almost have two. Hard to say if that makes sense to you. So I think the number of deployments per weekend, if you're somebody that's throwing your bike down a couple of times a weekend, then maybe the two deployments mean a whole lot to you, right? If you have a racing absolute, like what I have right here, okay, where the Tech Air Race actually goes between the liner and the outer shell of the suit. There's only a couple of suits on the market that do that. They're both really expensive. It's this one and then the Tai Chi 107 suit. I got to tell you, that is the cat's meow, having the airbag and then the liner, right? Airbag behind the liner. That is just the best way, but you pay a real premium for that. So with the Racing Absolute or that 107 suit, I would still go with Tech Air Race. I feel like with any of the other suit models out there, you really need to ask yourself, am I a serial crasher, right? Do those two deployments really mean a lot to me, right? For most people, they don't. Most people, you're going, maybe you fall down one time in a season. Repair of this, Alpinestars turns it around fast. We send Max's stuff out. I've sent mine out. You get it there. You're talking, even with our Corona Apocalypse shipping delays, you're still going to see it back to you right around 2 weeks, depending on where you are. And we're all the way across the country from them. They get to them within 1 week, right, from when it lands there, get it repaired and get it sent out. So their service has been fantastic. They've really done a good job with that, right? The Tech Air 5, you can easily use on the street or the track. I'm not going to show you that in this video. I don't have the app on my phone, and quite frankly, I don't want to hook this new unit all up and do all that stuff. It's very easy to do, okay? You download the app, Bluetooth in this thing, bada boom, bada bing. Super easy to switch. You'll see that. So if you do track days and street riding, well, 100% probably the right way to go is going to be to go with that Tech Air 5, because you use that, say you go to the racetrack, you get her powered up, open up your phone, pop, you've got it in track mode, you get it under your Tech Air compatible suit, and you go out there and you have a nice weekend and you enjoy the same protection that you would enjoy on the street. When you get back home, put it on, get her all zip, pop, pop, you put it back in street mode, you go out there and you're right back where you started. Cost is obviously a factor too. End of the day, the level of protection, I had a good long talk again yesterday with Alpinestars about this now that they've released the algorithm for the racetrack for this model. They believe protection between the two, just it's a push, right? So you're going to enjoy basically the same level of protection. If you happen to be a customer that currently today, right, this is March of 2021, we have several Tech Air races that are on back order. People are waiting for them. Big shipping delays, manufacturing delays on Alpinestars side. That sucks. If you're seeing this video right now and you're like, oh man, I'd love to switch, we are here to service you and get that done. All you have to do is get a hold of our customer service team, right? You're going to get a refund for the difference, no problem. These Tech Air 5s are in stock now. We can get them shipped out to you. We appreciate your business and your patience. If you have any questions, leave those in the comment section of this video. This is a really technical situation. I'm always here to support you guys the absolute best I can. If I don't have the answer, I'll text those dudes at Alpinestars and they'll get right back to me, and I will get you the answer to make sure that you get the most out of every purchase you make here at sportbiketrackgear.com.